Hey guys, it's Rebecca. So today I'm just going to be doing quite like a casual sit down video. As you can see, I'm like half in Christmas pajamas and I'm just not feeling the best today, so I've taken the day off any uni work apart from submitting my proposal because I had quite a hard day of doing uni work yesterday because I had a group presentation to do and that always kind of just like takes it out of me whenever I have any kind of deadline. Today I'm just going to be talking about all of the books that I want to finish by 2020 ends. I'm not sure actually how many books. I think it's over 5 books, but I'm over halfway through a lot of these books. I'm reading so many at the same time right now, mostly because of uni, and I always end up getting like a certain percentage of a way through a book and then having to move on to another one for a different class. So there's literally just so many books that I'm in the middle of for so many different reasons, and I'm just going to talk about all those today, and hopefully I will finish all of these magically by the new year. So the first book that I want to finish and hopefully genuinely will finish by the new year is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I am currently 71% of the way through that book and I'm reading it on the Kindle. I'm actually just been reading on my phone. I started that actually a couple of months ago. I actually started that at the end of summer, so I've been reading it for a long time, but I've had to keep like abandoning it because I would have to just concentrate on uni. Whenever you're doing an English degree, there's not much time to read anything for pleasure. Obviously I do enjoy reading quite a lot of the books that I have to read for uni, but as in I don't have time to read like YA books or just any other books that I would read for fun, and 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo ended up being one of those. So as I said, I am 70% of the way through and I'm absolutely loving it so far. So far it is a 5-star read for me, so I'm really hoping that it continues that way for the last 30% of the book, and I do definitely imagine that I will get this one done because I absolutely love it and I am going to have a bit more time over Christmas and things to actually read, so hopefully I will get that one done. So the next book that I would love to finish by the new year is Bleak House by Charles Dickens. So I have to read this for a Charles Dickens class that I'm doing next term. I am in my 3rd year, so I definitely want to read all of the books that I have to read, and it'd be amazing to get a head start on this one because as you can see it's absolutely massive and the font in these Wordsworth editions are really small. I'm not entirely sure what Bleak House is actually about overall. Dickens's longer novels are generally very character driven and they don't necessarily have that much of a plot. That's my experience so far from reading books like David Copperfield and things. Charles Dickens is quite a descriptive, character based writer and I absolutely love him for all of those reasons, but so far I'm about 120 pages into Bleak House and I have it on audiobook, so I'm getting quite quickly through it. I started it quite a while ago but literally only got like 20 pages in, and over the last couple of days, even though I've been reading it for literally only short bursts of time, I've managed to get quite a good chunk of the way through because I feel like starting classics is always, you know, the most difficult bit because you have to learn the characters and there's quite a lot like description going on and getting to know what the characters are like, and Dickens does quite a lot of that. He not only tells you what the characters are like though, like he does show it, which I know a lot of people hate, but obviously it's Dickens and obviously it's going to be good. But yeah, I actually have no clue what Bleak House is like about it plot wise, but so far we just follow so many different characters. We follow a lot of lawyers, and we also follow a girl, Esther, who grew up quite poor and she ends up going to Bleak House. I just have a feeling I'm going to absolutely love it because I've been really enjoying it so far. So the next book I would love to finish is actually quite a short one, and that is Save Me the Waltz by Zelda Fitzgerald. Again, this is one of those books that I don't necessarily think has much of a plot. It's quite character driven, at least so far. I'm really not that far through. I'm 44 pages through. I started this actually for Join the Six but never managed to get through it. As you can see, it's a very short novel. I only have about 150 pages actually left of this one to go, so possibly I would get through this one. Obviously considering I have Bleak House, I don't know if that's going to happen, especially because it's it's a lot lower on my list than a lot of the other ones that I want to read, but if I manage to do it, that would be really nice. I think this one's more likely to happen if I suddenly just get in the mood for this one, because I was really enjoying it. I just had to stop reading it because I just didn't have time. As I said, I'm 44 pages of the way through and there's only about 200 pages in this novel, so I could definitely do it in like in a sitting, but it just depends if I want to actually pick it up, if I'm not in the mood just to finish like Evelyn Hugo or just pick up like Bleak House or something, because right now I'm just in a massive Charles Dickens mood. So Bleak House is the one that I'm just wanting to pick up, but obviously I have lots to get through of that, so let's see if this happens. But I would love to get this one done just because it's a current read and it's nice to just start off the new year with like fresh books. But there's other ones that I'm not even going to mention in this video because I know that I'm not going to finish them, like Middlemarch. I'm halfway through Middlemarch. I've been halfway through Middlemarch for a year and I have not had a chance to continue, so yeah, let's see what happens. So the next book is another book that I had to read for uni for my Victorian fiction class, and that is The Story of an African Farm by Olive Schreiner. I am 41% of the way through this novel and I am absolutely loving it so far. Once again, this is quite a character driven novel, so I'm not going to go into much of the plot detail, and as well I'm just not very good at describing the plot, and as well I haven't even finished these books, so I couldn't really tell you what the actual overall plot is of these novels. But I am a good bit of the way through this novel, like this amount that I've read, so I'm literally like halfway through. I'm probably over 41% of the way through. I'm actually just going to check that. No, I'm not. I am 41% of the way through, but yeah, I'm absolutely loving this one and hopefully I will finish it before the new year's over, because I think it's more likely for me to want to sit and finish this one than it would be for Save Me the Bots, because I am definitely enjoying this one so far more, and as well I want to finish this by the time I have my take-home exam for this class in January, so I kind of need to finish this one as well as Bleak House. So the next one is one that I'm actually reading to my brother, and I couldn't continue reading this one ever since like the summer, because so I've actually been rereading this for a very long time now, but because I go to university in Bristol and I live in Belfast, I couldn't continue reading this to my brother, and he's usually quite busy so I couldn't read it any other way to him. So the other day we did make a bit of a dent in this one and we're really hoping to get this one done by the new year, and that is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. So we are 34% of the way through this book and my brother's absolutely loving it. He doesn't know what happens, which is just so cute, and this is only my second time reading this book, which is weird because of how much I love The Hunger Games, but I'm not much of a rereader. I'll just kind of read something once and be like, yeah, I love that, that's it, and I will sometimes pick up a book and read bits and pieces of the book and bits and pieces of what I'm actually in the mood for. I do that quite a lot with The Catcher in the Rye, but I never reread books in full. That very rarely happens unless I kind of have to, usually for classes. So it's actually really fun to be reading this one, and we're just going to read the whole way through until the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which will probably take us months, but anyway, hopefully we do get this one done, because that would be really fun to see his reaction and see what he thinks of this one. So the next book that I am going to talk about I've also been reading from the summer, and that's again due to university classes, and I don't have the dust cover on it right now. I do have it somewhere, but I just can't be bothered going and finding it because it's just been sitting beside my desk and I don't keep the dust covers on whenever I'm reading books, and that is Midnight Sun. Midnight Sun by, I was going to say Stephanie Garber, by Stephanie Meyer. Yeah, I am 60% of the way through this book and I'm enjoying it. It does make me want to, for some reason, it keeps making me really want to read New Moon, because obviously we know that Edward does leave. I would kind of actually really like to see New Moon from Edward's point of view. I think that would actually be quite interesting, just to see what he was feeling and doing whenever he was away from Bella, but it also makes you want to reread like the original New Moon novel. I don't know, for some reason, and whenever I started reading this I went through like a massive Twilight phase. Just rewatching all of the Twilight films, like for some reason it was the only thing bringing me joy in life. I have no idea why. I am really enjoying it, but also I do have my feelings about it, but I'm not going to say anything really until I finish it, which will hopefully be by the new year. I don't know how this is all going to be possible, but I'm going to attempt it and we can see if that actually happens. So that's all of the books that I'm actually going to attempt to finish by the new year, and I really hope that I at least finish Bleak House and The Story of an African Farm. They're on the top of my list. I would love to finish them because it's like necessary that I read those. Just looking at my Goodreads currently reading, and what I have on it right now is Middlemarch. As I was already talking about, I would love to finish that one in 2021 because I can still remember what happened, so I can still continue from where I was. I was also reading The Death of the Heart by Elizabeth Bowen, but according to Goodreads I only got 15% of the way through that, so to be honest I'll probably reread the start because I was really enjoying it, but I just didn't continue. I can't really remember why. So the next one that I'm also currently reading, and this one's actually an audiobook, is The Kite Runner by Caladosini. I was really enjoying that, and that's one that I would always like kind of colour into and things like that, but I've just not had time to carry on. But as I said, just like Middlemarch, I can't remember everything that happened, so I think I'm pretty far through that, like 70 or 80% of the way through, but I just don't imagine me finishing it by the new year, but I'll definitely be finishing that one in 2021. Another one is a little small book by Kate Chopin called A Pair of Silk Stockings, and it's a little collection of short stories. I literally got about halfway through this and just never continued it. My friend Nat, who's actually on my English course, she let me borrow this book one day when I had nothing else to read, and we went into like a park to read in the sun in the summer, and I just like picked up, it was one of those like wee small cheap Penguin editions. I'm really sad because I really wanted to add this to like the list of books for 2020, but I left it in Bristol and just never got it finished. But to be honest, I can't really remember much of it, so I'll probably just reread the entire thing in one sitting whenever I'm back, and that can maybe be one of my first reads of 2021 because it's so short and it'll just be really easy to get through. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that it's like so casual looking and not my normal like sit down spot, but I just wanted to sit in my bed and I just wanted to be comfortable. And there will be another video looking exactly like this because I'm going to film a couple more, but that's just what it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Also, if you could hit the notification button, the little bell beside the subscribe button, if you are already subscribed to me, that I would really appreciate that, because not only will you be notified whenever I upload, which I would absolutely love, but also apparently it helps with the algorithm and helping with my videos actually come up in your subscription box. So if you could do that, I would really appreciate it, and as I said, I will see you in the next one.